I advertise our own products and useful stuff. And it's a lot better than hearing a sponsored ad about a device to shave your pubic hair. I believe so. Do not complain. Watch and be happy. This is a business where you think I want to sit and look at your pretty face. Here we have a 2003 C230 Mercedes Benz fob that came in for repair. Customer mailed over the fob shell, an empty one right here, and the motherboard is already out. And customer also mailed over two components. I see a coil and I see an oscillator right here. The oscillator probably broke off and the coil needs to be changed. Let's take a look. The fob itself looks like it had better days, but what can you expect? It's a fob. We need to check those lines to make sure they are continuous. The coil is missing from right over here, so we're going to solder a replacement one back. We cannot buy those coils from anywhere, so what we do is we grab a replacement coil from a donor fob. We have a lot of donor fobs. And the oscillator is missing from where? Where is it? Right there. It's missing from here. This side of the board looks good to me. I do not see anything wrong other than the missing oscillator. And we're going to do a quick cleanup on this fob and we should be good. Let's start by soldering the oscillator. And we did not add any flux, but it's only 2 pads, not a big deal. Fume extractor on. And we're gonna grab this nice oscillator right here. And what we can do is we can use hot air, we can use our soldering iron, or we can use our hot tweezers. Which one do you want? Raise your hand. Since I cannot see you, I'm gonna choose one. Let's work with the nf.mini pen. Maybe we'll do it that way. This board is very fragile, only 2 layers, so it takes very minimal heat to melt solder. We do not want to use hot air because we can affect other components on the board. That's one end. And we're gonna do this side here. And I'm using the nf.mini pen. What if I want to use my hot tweezers? Let me show you. So you can see both. Apply flux, apply flux. Press down on that component, like this. And then we can apply heat from both ends at the same time. Just like that. And of course you need to blow air on it so you can cool it in half a second, like Superman. Because everything that we do here is like Superman. I never knew that Superman could solder. But still, it sounds good. Now, original Amtech 559 Flux is non-corrosive. So even if you kept it on the board, it does not harm the board in any way, shape, or form. And that's only original Amtech 559 Flux. I'm not talking about other fluxes. We are a distributor of the Flux. You can log into our site, buy wholesale or retail, NorthridgeFix.com, click on shop, and you can buy all the tools that we use on the bench here, from soldering station, hot air station, thermal camera, grinding pen, power supply, voltage injection tool, charging station, tweezers, wick, everything. We have everything in stock. Add to cart, checkout, order, and we almost always ship out same day. You're gonna hear this advertisement in every video, and it's a lot better than hearing a sponsored ad about a device to shave your pubic hair. I believe so. We do not do that here. I advertise our own products and useful stuff. So if you are tired hearing about the products that we sell, I have a question for you. Did you buy something? No. Do not complain. Watch and be happy. This is a business where you think I want to sit and look at your pretty face. The least you can hear is an advertisement, and you're gonna hear it in every video. We sell awesome products. We give an awesome service, fast shipping, and we already tested the tools. Everything that we sell, we already tested. What more do you want? The videos that you are watching are free. We're not charging you for those. So just be thankful and support. Life is give and take. Do not just take and not give back. We're gonna grab a coil from here. I have a donor board right there, and the coil on this one looks perfect. Let's take a look at the customer's coil just so that we can see what's going on with his coil. And if we look here, we can see that the coil is broken. The wire is broken from here, and looks like, wait a minute, do we have a broken pad on the customer's board? And no, we do not. Oh yeah, we do. Right there. So the trace is broken from here to here, but that's okay because we can solder the coil directly here and here. We'll make it work. Now the coil itself is fragile, and the plastic on that coil is fragile as well. So we have to remove the coil in a safe way so we do not damage it. How can we do it? Question for the ages. Applied some flux, and we're gonna apply it a little bit of hot air. We do not need to be at 500 degrees, more like maybe 290 degrees Celsius. We want to get this out as soon as possible before plastic burns. Just like that. Now let's put back the customer's board right here. So like I said, the trace is broken. But we'll make it work. How? Patience. Tranquilo, my friend. Patience. Let's use a 0.1 millimeter wire. And of course, we need to tin that wire. Just like that. And we're gonna solder that wire all the way to this component here. Done. What about the glare and reflections that you have on the board? I told you you're not being patient. I'll take care of it. But how would you know what anti-glare is about if you do not see glare, right? How would you know what happiness is if you never experienced sadness? How would you know what being hungry is like if you did not starve? How would you know the blessing of having an eyesight if you did not see a blind person? Everything has a purpose in life. Align it. Smooth. You see? We have a super fine tip that is perfect for doing this microscopic work. We're gonna just push down on this one. Right? We're done. Now the pad on the bottom is a no connect. It's only used for support, but we care about those too. We're gonna measure to see if the coil is making a good connection. Meter in continuity mode. First we're gonna test to make sure the coil is good from here to here, and the coil is good. Now we're gonna test from here to here and from here to here. See? And from here to here, and we're gonna do it like this from here to here. Awesome. And we did the whole work using the nf.mini pen. Such an amazing pen. If you have not already purchased one, you can log into NorthridgeFix.com and buy it. We use the best tips in the market. We went through a lot of tips until we got the best. I've been using that very same tip for the past 6 months. Still like new. That's the difference between a good tip and a cheap tip. The pen itself is not much to talk about. It's the tip that matters. A lot of viewers ask, what's the difference between the nf.mini pen and other pens in the market? There are a lot of soldering pens in the market. Two differences. Difference number one is we are using one of the best quality tips in the market, maybe even better than JBC tips. The reason I say this is because I've been using the same tip for the past 6 months. I use it every day, and the tip is still like new, and it grabs solder like it's a new tip. That's reason number one. The pen is not much to talk about. It's the tip that matters. And the second reason is the distance between where I'm holding that pen and the tip. It's about an inch. So you have more precision. When the tip, you cannot see it. When the tip is short, like the one that we have here, you have more precision. You see some soldering pens, some popular ones where the tip is that long. How can you have precision if you are holding the soldering pen like this with a tip that's about 3 inches or 2 inches or whatever the case may be? No precision. With this one, you have extreme precision because of how short that tip is. If we go under the microscope, that's the tip. You have precision. Just imagine the tip that you are working with is that long. You lose that precision. That's what makes it special. Again, it's the tips that makes it special more than the pen itself. The pen is awesome. The pen is great. Easy to use. Easy to control temperature with. But the tip, at the end of the day, the tip is what matters. You can have the best pen in the world. If you are using a cheap tip, like the ones being sold all over the place, then you're gonna struggle with making the tip grab solder, or you're gonna struggle with soldering. That's why we went over a lot of tips until we got the best. I can get a soldering pen off AliExpress for cheaper. Go ahead and do it. You're gonna get cheap tips. You're gonna get the cheapest tips, actually, not cheap tips. You think people on AliExpress, they care about you? No. I test that stuff. I work with that stuff all day. We do not sell for the sake of selling. We sell because we believe in those tools, and we want you to have the same experience. That's why we carry and sell a lot of products. So we know this line is continuous. What about this one, the second line? Let's measure from here. And this one is good. And this one is good. What about this one? This one looks good. What we can do is we can mask those wires so they do not corrode in the future. And that's all we have to do. And of course, we're gonna test. But We added a lot, but that's okay. Solder mask will protect. It's not going to do any harm. We want to give this fob back to the customer in a better than factory condition. Now is the time to grab your UV glasses, because what's a good video if I do not expose you to UV light through your screen while you're in a different country, right? A lot of you already know what I'm talking about. One person complained, why are you shining UV light at the camera and exposing us to UV light? And he lives at the Amazon jungle, and he's gonna get exposed to UV light through his screen by me shining that UV light on the camera. So it's been a trend talking about that person since. Okay, we should be good. What we can do is add just a tiny bit of hot air in combination with UV light. And I went over this trick in a previous video, and now of course everyone uses that trick without a mention, but that's okay. That's what this channel is about, showing you everything. You don't have to mention me, but it would be nice if you did. You can look up NorthridgeFix UV mask and you'll see it. Okay, so that fob is better than factory. All we have to do is test. Now I have two testers here, and I'm working with the maker of this tester so we can carry and sell it. Let's put that fob inside the shell. The customer also mailed over this plastic piece that goes on the front here. And the UPS guy came in. Just a minute. Just a minute. UPS just picked out the packages. And if you ordered yesterday, your order already shipped. Even if you ordered today. Let me see, how many orders do we still have left? Did we do all of them yet? And no. A lot more to go. So if your order did not ship out today, it will ship out tomorrow. Still a lot of orders to go. Let's put the motherboard inside the shell like this, and assuming the customer's batteries are good, and we have 6.5 volts. Awesome. So the batteries look like they are new. Put the battery holder inside the fob, and are we gonna see a red light? Yes. You see here. You see the red light when we click. Press and hold the trunk button. You see a blink. Press the lock button, and finally we're gonna press the panic button. So all buttons are working, but we're gonna test. We have two testers, and I'm working with the maker of this one here so we can carry and sell their item. Let's turn it on, and yes, both frequency and IR working. I see two lights, 1 and 2, and you hear two beeps. Quick, TD, the trunk button. The trunk button you have to press and hold in order to get an IR reading. If I press it once, only frequency reads, and if I press and hold, we have both frequency and IR show up on this device. Lock button and panic button. We have two lights. Awesome. The fob is fully functional. We can also use this tool here, and it will give us a frequency count. The only problem with this tool here is interference. Right now it's 0, 100, 0. Okay, 0 is good. Sometimes you get interference. Look, if I press on the button, 314.9, that's perfect. Press on the trunk button, 314.9. Press on the lock button, 315 or 314.9 is good. And if we press on the panic button, and you have to point the fob in a certain way, 314, 314.6. Now, if I want to test IR, I cannot do it from here. I have to point the fob from the top. Whereas the other device, with one click of a button, I test both frequency and IR. And that's why we are working on carrying that tool. Now, you see the interference? It's showing 900, 0. Okay. Now, IR, press and hold. You have IR, which tells me IR is working. Trunk, we have IR. Log button, we have IR. And finally, panic button, we have IR. So the fob is fully functional. We're going to invoice and mail this back to the customer. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll do something else in the next video. Carrot. Carrots. My wife put a bag of carrots inside the fridge. And my mom actually put some of those carrots for me inside the cup. They always feed me.